Well, there were elements of that game that was really a gift to women's basketball, just two really good teams going at it. And there were elements of that game where we probably set it back. From the three-point line, I think both teams were not where we needed to be, clearly. But, how great for women's basketball. We played in front of 6,500 fans at our place a week ago. We played in front of 6,500 fans at Virginia. I don't know how many were here, as you guys all know, but not 6,500. And then however many the next game where there's going to be 6,500. And then we're going to go play at Duke, and there's going to be 6,500. Just so awesome for women's basketball. So just a shout out to our state for how we just keep showing up for women's basketball. These guys have been here a long time, and they've got an opportunity to the crowds across our league have just really gone up. It's really awesome. So anyway, glad to see all of you guys here for women's basketball on a Thursday night.
Coach, what was the game plan to guard and defend against one of the best offensive teams in the conference?
Yeah, I mean, they're a hard team to guard. It's a really nicely pieced together group. Yeah, all offer something to the unit. They're good off the bounce. Typically, they can make threes. They've got interior presence. So they got a lot of different things to go to. We like our defense. We didn't play very well Sunday defensively, so that's kind of all I had to say, really, is remember how we played defensively on Sunday. We were much more disciplined defensively. So some breakdowns still. Obviously in these close games, it's she who makes less mistakes wins the game. We made a few too many, but overall, just a good college basketball game.
Deja, you got banged up at one point early in that fourth quarter. How are you kind of feeling after that? You obviously checked back in, but how are you kind of feeling right now?
I'm fine.
Carl.
Okay, the last 3 minutes, you had several chances with an opportunity to tie it and just could never do it. What was going on during that stretch where you just couldn't break through?
I mean, got a lot of good looks, right? I got 3 in a row that I liked, right? It's what we missed. I'm not good at math, you guys. We missed 35 shots. They missed 37, maybe. I mean, there's missed shots in the game, right? And when they're towards the end in a possession game, they hurt a little bit more. I can guarantee Wes isn't going to be praising how they shot the ball either, right? It's just the nature of the game. So they made however many 2 more shots than we did today. Neither team, I don't think, is setting the record books for the offensive shooting that we had today.
Courtney,
it's good to see you. It's been a while.
Earlier in the game, I think you guys were up 3 and they went on a 9-0 run and kind of pushed back. Some of that was Isaiah James, who had foul trouble early. Was there 1 or 2 things during that stretch when they sort of pushed back ahead to get the lead they kept that you didn't like about what your team did or what they did?
Well, we know Zai wants to get to the rim, right? And we kind of allowed our guys to play 1v1, which we don't typically do. So she got those 2 baskets early. We long closed out, which we didn't want to do, and so she got by us. So just a few defensive mistakes, but she's a hard matchup. I mean, she's a good player. These are some of the best players in the country, and so both for our team and for theirs. So, it's not really a 1v1 matchup. It's just these kids are too good. We were down 10, took the lead. The competitive spirit. Deja gets a lot of attention, but what doesn't get attention is the competitive spirit that she plays with, and the fearlessness that she plays with. And these two they epitomize what you want your kids to be. So. That had to go with that. That had to be said too.
Alyssa, obviously, Coach just mentioned just the effort to come back. As a leader on this team, what are you kind of telling some of the younger players about this experience and how y'all can move forward?
Yeah, the biggest thing to relay to my teammates is to believe in yourself. These are like big moments on a big stage, and first of all, we're honored to be able to play in an environment like this. It was a lot of fun, but just stepping up and making big shots when we need them.
Coach and Alyssa, can you talk about this environment, like the physicality of this game? Both Alyssa and Maria had over double-digit rebounds. At the last home game at Miami, you were talking about how we talked about after the game how improved Maria has come along at being physical and establishing her presence down low. Can
For sure.
Just kind of talk about the physicality nature of this game?
Yeah, the rebounding battle is something that we always try to win when we are facing opponents, and so Maria and I take that to heart, and we just pursue the ball offensively and defensively. Also keep in mind when we need to get back because their transition offense is pretty good as well. So it's a healthy balance of both, but just being in constant pursuit.
Yeah, it's great to see Maria come back after not playing so great on Sunday. She's physicality of the game. Not everybody's built the same or plays the same way, right? But we need her to be more physical, and she's starting to do that. She's continuing to get better for us. And so the more physical she can be, And the more we can play with some depth to our offense, the better. Kids did a good job of that tonight.
Coach, when you talk about your post kind of rotation earlier this season, you said kind of it's about the feel of the game, it's sort of how it's going, and different players fit different styles. What was it about this game that called for, I guess, heavier doses of Alyssa and less of Tiani and Anya?
Yep. Well, I felt like Z always, she can guard. She's got good length, so she plays to the scout defensively. So felt like she could handle River without much problem. And she has a very clear understanding of how to play offense with our group. So she moves the ball well. She gives us a 3-point shooting threat. As you saw, didn't knock them down, but does typically. And so we felt like her offensive confidence in an environment like this and her experience pays off.
Pat, back there?
Courtney talked
Yeah.
about just what a great night for women's basketball.
Totally.
Obviously, a pretty amazing atmosphere in there. I mean, how do you think your team handled it throughout the game?
I thought they were fine. I think again that's what I was praising women's basketball for. I mean, we have literally who do we play last? Virginia. They had 6,800 fans, right? And then the game before that we played Miami. I guess I don't even remember, but we have over 6,000 every game, right? So and then there'll be 6,000 or sellout Virginia Tech, and then we'll go to Duke, and that will be a sellout. I mean, it's just awesome. So these environments aren't new. They're just not. So what I'm happy about is that it's not one or two environments. It used to be when I first got in the league. It was NC State, a little bit of Louisville. Now it's like this is not the norm. This is not that different. This is the norm, and that's so awesome for our league. It really is. Virginia Tech is going to also have 9,000 fans, and we haven't played there yet. So it's just awesome to look down the schedule and realize that we've got so many more opportunities.
I mean, it's obviously impressive that you guys handled it and were so close, but is there part of you too that's like, wow, we were that close at the number 7 team in the country in their house?
I mean, yeah. I mean, not really. I mean, if we had beaten this one, it would make up a little bit for the Virginia loss, right? Because you're just trying to stack wins. We know this is a team that's going to be kind of in that upper echelon in the league. So also it's a double. If you win, you also give them a loss. So it kind of does both for that type of environment. But we're really about winning one game at a time in this league. It's such a good league. We got I think they're projecting 9 teams in the tournament. I mean, you just got to get as many wins as you can. And so whether we're close at this game or we're close against Virginia, those are games you just have to win.
Deja, can you take me through your mindset in the third quarter? You scored 15 points and get the team back in the game. What was going on so well for you in that quarter?
Yeah, my mind, it's just takeover time. I knew that we were down 7 at half, and I knew that we had to come out really aggressive in the third quarter because that's what was going to set the tone. And offensively, I thought we were doing a way better job of moving off each other. I was actually catching shot ready, so I knocked down a couple of threes, but. I was just in takeover mode, and I think defensively also we got a lot of good stops, a lot of big stops, rebounds. So I think that's where it started really on that end, and we got a little more transition as well.
But after you took the hard fall, you didn't score again. Did that impair your playing ability after that?
No, I think other people got good looks throughout those next possessions, but I guess I just didn't like it. Yeah.
This question is for both players. Can you speak on the intensity of every possession in this game and maybe compare it to any other games, any other rivalries out there for you guys or whatever? Because you can just sense it on every possession in this game. Anything that can compare to this?
I wouldn't say it's really any different than any game because like any other game, every possession matters. It just comes down to kind of what coach is telling us, just who makes less mistakes throughout the game and within those possessions. And obviously, it's a loud environment, so I think that's why it feels more intense and things like that. And when their crowd is cheering for them, we're trying not to worry about that. But yeah, I think just every possession matters, and I think that's kind of how we're going about it, just like any other game.
Oh yeah, Alyssa, there was the one play you guys were down by 3, looked like you were kind of taking it down. It looked like you were kind of looking to kick it out. Just kind of what did you see on that play, if you recall it at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a play that I'll be thinking about a lot on what was the correct decision. But I thought regardless of the beginning of that play, we got a good look. And at the end of the day, that's all we can ask for, a good look to the basket. But yeah, and regardless of that outcome of that play, we just had to keep being competitive and just keep pushing forward.
Last question, Carolyn.
For all three of you, with a really tough stretch of games ahead, obviously emotions are running really high right now, but what do you kind of view as the key to getting back in the winning column, and what were some positives that you're taking away from today?
Yeah, I don't know if it's always, like I said, it's about getting back in the win column, right? I mean, you just have to stack wins, right? And so a loss at Virginia, a win at Notre Dame, a win at home against Louisville, like they all matter, right? And so you know that it's going to take probably 4 losses might win this league. Like you just know that. So whether you have a tougher schedule in the beginning of the season or the middle or the end or intermixed, that's why we just talk about stacking wins. Like it's just this group. I mean, led by these two. You think these two are worried about anything but tomorrow? Like that's just not how they're wired, and that's why we're so good, right? And so we have a really good Virginia Tech team. Miami's really good. Florida State's really good. Like Virginia's really good. So that's just the nature of this league, and that's what makes it so awesome to be in it.
Yeah. And Alyssa and Deja, what are some lessons that you're taking away from today?
I think just continuing to compete, just trying to see the big picture. I think we got better just from our last loss, and obviously we hate losing. I hate losing, but I think just learning from it, continuing to grow from it will be the biggest thing. And as leaders, I think that's something that we just have to, continue to uplift the team in that way.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to take away that leaning on each other is the biggest thing that gets us through competitive games, and just infusing each other with confidence and believing in each other, because at the end of the day, when you're in an environment like that, all you got are the people in blue for us. And so just reminding ourselves when we're in tough situations and we may or may not have momentum, just how do we operate within the 5 that are on the floor to produce the best outcome we can.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thanks,